All right, Diggs, I want to give you some time because I know this was something you wanted to chat about. And we got 3 weeks to fill before the next, well, however many weeks before the next show. So
Yeah, we have plenty of time to talk about it. No, I was just thinking. Found it interesting that Steven mentioned that the castle PvP really unlocks at max level. The ancients that are in the castles that we have to kick out are level 50 to 55, I think. And that just means there's another category of gameplay that's max level, which is what I was hoping nodes would prevent. The concept that end game is the real game, or max level is the real game. And I think if we're going to do that, then in that case, I do agree with you, Phantom, that leveling is just a pointless grind. If we have to get to level 50 to start doing the fun stuff, then leveling is pointless. What's the point? That's not really the game I want to play. So it just kind of solidified for me again that I'm not in the target audience, and also for me, this is a different game than what I thought it was at Kickstarter, especially because castle sieges and node sieges and caravans, that's the type of PvP that I like. So the risk versus reward PvP is all throughout the game. But then I would have to wait to get to max level before I can start getting to some of the PvP that I would actually enjoy. So I don't know if it makes a difference to the two of you, but I found it interesting that we're getting more categories of gameplay that are gated behind level 50.
I don't think it's entirely a problem. I believe this is what they mean for a server to mature, is that enough players play for enough time and put in enough investment that they're able to start upending the ancients and start putting down the more powerful roots that will be harder to uproot and allow them to grow their power significantly and grow the power in the area significantly. In terms of ancients being, level 50, level 55, unless it's instance, there's always the ability to simply throw more players at it until the damn thing's dead. You might have a skirmish afterward to try to, claim it. But
you can't do that if there's no level 50 characters in the game.
You might have to have a level 50 in the party, sure, but the whole party doesn't have to be level 50 to engage in that. And so it's not that you are gated from accessing those systems. It's that you are gated from potentially being king head honcho, chief of the area or whatever, unless you're at least level 50. And that doesn't mean you can't become level 50 at some point and participate in an event where you can become chief head honcho level 50. But if the experience of leveling up and building up and developing is supposed to be a bit of a slower process, that it isn't something where you're just all of a sudden going to be doing the bigger and stronger things, but that the maturity of the server in terms of the active amount of players and making sure there's enough of them to sustain all the activities that keep the server running, keep the economy running, keep the narrative running is being reached. And along the way, people are getting to level 50. I think it might actually be part of how they eliminate servers, is that if enough players don't get big enough and beefy enough to start taking on the challenges before they start spilling out and making bigger problems in the world, then those servers didn't quite get enough investment. They never matured enough to get to the point where they, were going to be able to survive. And those are the ones that might get collapsed upon each other. But in terms of progression, you're getting stronger and stronger as your kit increases through each level. And now on one hand, that could be considered arbitrary because eventually you'll get there. But at the same time, if the game is trying to focus very much on the journey, not the destination, the intent of going through all the levels at a slower pace is because they want you to see what the level 10, level 20, 30, 40 sort of content is, the events, the rituals, the opportunities, and all of that sort of stuff. As you progress with the levels, as you've built your reputation, as you've learned and invested more in the world, to be able to have more opportunities coming out of it. And so it's something where you might not be asked to kill 10 giant rats in an ancient basement when you're level 50, but when you're level, 10 to 20, you might, because an infestation of rats has affected the city, giant rats has affected the city, may have the opportunity to be invited into some people's basements to kill the giant rats that are infesting them, and maybe then go into the sewers and start taking care of them. And then you see what caused it, what the source is, and you start working on that. That could, that could take some levels, that could take some repeated visits. You might have to go and gear up again for some special sort of things to deal with some of the threats in there. And so, that's the sort of thing, giving you opportunities, giving you events, giving you things to engage in the whole way through. It makes sense if you're trying to do like a D&D or Pathfinder sort of thing. You're not killing dragons at level 1 in D&D, generally not, unless you find some way to like hacksaw attack it from an angle that it can't attack you back. But that's usually like a video game thing, not like a tabletop sort of thing to have happen. You're going to be killing goblins. You're going to be killing goblin bandits that are ransacking people on the roads at level 1. It's not until like level 7, 8, 9 that you and your crew are going to be taking on the bigger stuff. And so you wouldn't be presented with the opportunities. Not that there aren't dragons in the world, and it may not be that they, aren't attacking things in the area. You are simply not strong enough to do anything to deal with them at level 1. And so why even invite you to that opportunity to feel like you're strong enough that an NPC invites you to the opportunity to go hunt a specific creature to help the land is something that, you should feel like you have to earn that opportunity. That isn't something that's just handed to you and everybody else that comes in perpetuity until a content update removes that quest from the game entirely. And so that's, giving kind of a long answer is this is to make the adventure more of an adventure, that instead of just trying to rush to 50 to engage in the systems, that the process of leveling up and gaining gear and experience and all of that along the way is one of the things they're putting a lot of their time and effort into. So that's just as fun as when you finally hit level 50 and you feel like it's time, like in, older D&D, hit level 10, you get a castle, or you get like a fort and like a retainer and a farm or something. It's like, well, yeah, I hit level 10, I'm a lord now. It's not necessarily going to be that cut and dry, but the idea that you have reached a point of power and reputation in the world that you would even be trusted and respected enough to be given the role of king of the castle. So it's,
that all of what you just said can happen at level 35 rather than at level 50. And then the guilds build up and start trying to vie as they continue to progress from 35 to 50, and eventually you'll have level 50 guilds in there, and there's nothing stopping an event from happening after that has the ancients level 55 and 60 trying to retake the castles from you during regular sieges. You can have a very challenging PVX event at that point, even months after guilds have already started occupying the castles.
Like I think of it kind of from another angle. Like, you're right that it could be done at a lower level, and in fact, that is something I think more gameplay and testing throughout the alphas and betas will help us discover is whether we like that people have to be level 50 to even start engaging in these systems, or if we want to be able to start engaging them at a lower level. I think maybe one of the other reasons why they want people to be by and large level 50 before they start doing this stuff is because things that are tied to higher level stuff and Metropolis level stuff and Kingdom level stuff, maybe they want to make sure the players are of the toughness required to, engage in those opportunities, that you don't have a Metropolis when everybody's only level 30, and when you go off the beaten path, everybody's just absolutely getting destroyed by the enemies because they're 20 levels higher. They're honey badger to your cobra. They don't give a damn.
I don't know why a Metro would be possible. Metro still should not be able to unlock before people are close to level 50. I mean, you should have to unlock. I mean, you should probably have to hit Metro in order to get to level 50 for number one. But all that should be tied in. So villages are stage 3, I believe. That's when caravans open. I'm expecting you'd be around level 25 at that time. Which means that sieges are starting to happen around that time. So
some people are
you
level
add
25 by then, yeah.
You add another 10 levels to give people time to ramp up a bit, and I think that should be pretty close to good enough. 35, 40, somewhere around there for castles to open up. And I don't see why you have to wait until 50.
How long do you own the castle before it sieges? I'm trying to remember. So you win the castle
There's
a month.
Siege. There's a siege every month.
Okay, and so how long? So how long does if we played? What is the expectation to get to max level to level 50? Is it 2 months, 3 months? What was it? I don't remember.
45 days, isn't it?
45 days if you're playing 4 to 6 hours
45
every
days.
single day.
So if we open Castle Siege to 35, level 35, and someone wins it, I mean, really by the next siege, I don't know. I'm trying to rationalize why it would be 50 rather than starting at it earlier. Like, does it really matter too much? I could understand if it was more of a PvE, PvX, grindy sort of thing, but if it's really pure PvP, I don't know that it matters so much that the original occupiers are level 50. Especially if, someone wins the castle and it's going to be a month before someone else can come in and take it. You can just assume that in that period of time, the people that are going to come in and try to take it will be level 50 at that point. So I guess maybe that's part of the reason.
We should be able to start all that stuff, right? There's caravan stuff going on, building up your military nodes in order to defend the castle. There's all kinds of stuff you could be doing in that time.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know. I don't see the concern since it's really meant to be a PvP event. I could see where
it's a PvP event that is the style of PvP that I like, rather than all the other stuff like the
one time.
Even the corruption. It's not one time. Again, it opens up caravans. You have to build up your military nodes each week. So stuff is going on week to week and day to day. It's not just a one and done thing. And there's 5 castles in the. So if you're looking for that kind of PvP, that gives you something to do rather than, for me, just being stuck with risk versus reward PvP, which is not the catalyst that changes the world. But we know that the game isn't made for me in any case, so it doesn't really matter. It's already a deal breaker with the open seas. It's just another feather that lets me know, I'm not in the target audience.
Maybe they'll let you be the king, so that way you can have a flying mount, and you can discover the open seas all you.
I just need a Stufferton.
We have to have a server somewhere that by popular vote elects Diggs as the leader, as the mayor, I would love to see that happen. Because I
Well,
do
who is
think
it
he
that
will
gets
play
the
the game.
flying mounts? It's the royalty at the castles, and is it Metropolis mayors are the other ones?
I don't remember.
Because I don't believe it's every mayor, but I believe there is. Oh, I'll look that up in the wiki.
Yeah, mayors. Yeah, guild leaders from castles, some dungeons. 100%
Yeah.
at this point, because Diggs, I do think you will play. Maybe not as much as you play Lego Fortnite, but I think you will be in there with your friends, and so we 100% have to have Diggs at some point, even if it's for just 1 month. I want to see Diggs as the mayor somewhere, some node, because I would be really curious what your decision making would be compared to other people in that position. So. Yeah, Abrat's asking. It did come across. Is that what you were intending to say, Diggs? It sounded like that. I don't know that you meant to sound that way. That caravans don't open up until Castle Siege is done.
I'm pretty sure I said caravans open at stage 3 village.
All right,
Pretty
we
sure
might
I
have
said that.
misheard. I just So,
Right, caravans start, and then castles have the caravans each week. Their military nodes get ramped up to stage 3. They can't go above stage 3, and so there's caravans associated with that. Right, you once the caravans open, when the villages appear, then that means that you ostensibly should be at a place for those associated with the castles. You should be able to do that. And that's again level 25. We should expect villages when if the nodes are stage 3 and that's the halfway mark, then I would guess that maybe players would be around the halfway mark as well, level 25 when that happens. I don't know. And then you add 10 more for castles. So caravans should already be happening for a while with the villages and maybe even towns before castles open up, I would think.
all right. Any more to say on that?
I guess you do bring up a good point about what stuff should be level restricted to level 50, and if perhaps something should be unlocked on the level restriction to an extent until it's actually been engaged the first time. I can definitely see where you're coming from on that, and you might not even ever get to level 35, but or except on an alt or something. But yeah, I think.
I mean, I won't be doing sieges in any case, so that doesn't matter. I mean, I won't be doing sieges in any case, so that doesn't matter.
But yeah, it was
doing sieges in any case, so that doesn't matter.
It was wilderness expedition encampment village town city metropolis. Wilderness. So if I'm not mistaken, wilderness is effectively like 0 to 10. What's up?
Sorry, there was a lot of weird echo all of a sudden. That was crazy.
Okay.
Right, I think whatever it was, it's gone. So we're good. That was weird.
Good.
Oh, is it back? I don't hear it. Because I can hear it.
Is it me talking while you're talking?
No, I think we're good. Yeah, we're back. We're good. That was weird. It's crazy. All right. Sorry, we totally lost train of thought, or did you not? Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say it's the expedition encampment village town city metropolis. I would imagine wilderness to expedition, that's the 0 to 10 range. Expedition to encampment is maybe the 10 to 20 range. And then, maybe village encampment to village is 20 to 30 range. But I could be mistaken. It could be that they don't actually correlate that tightly. It also could be that I was thrown off because we only had a max level of 12 in Alpha 1, and we were getting villages, it seemed like, in I guess less time and effort than it would have taken in the gameplay that's been explained to us up to this point. So that'll be interesting seeing, just because we could potentially get a place up to a village, how that's going to be if players are going to be like, yeah, we got a village going and all the mobs out there are level 30 and chew my face off because I didn't level up as fast as the town did. So that'll be a fun one to see and how they test and change and balance around that.